Kate, I'm sorry. I don't think things are gonna go well for our wedding tomorrow.
Wait, Roland? What's going on?
Ever since this morning, my dad has been saying the craziest things.
Like what?
He was screaming and yelling at me about how I'm trying to mix uneducated, low-life blood into our elite families.
Low-life blood?
I was wondering what he was doing when he left the house this morning, but then he came home with papers in his hand. Then he screamed out, "This marriage is off," before coming to me. The way he spoke about everything was all over the place, but I was able to get the gist of things. He was talking about your family that whole time. He rambled on and on.
My family? What was he saying about us?
My mom and I were able to get him to go into his office, and we're both waiting for him to calm down before we ask that same thing again. I'm sorry to ask this, but if we haven't figured out anything with him by tomorrow, you mind heading to the wedding venue before me? I'm gonna let the staff there know about this, and we'll come moments before the wedding all starts. And when I can, I'll do my best to explain what all happens with my dad by that time.
Understood. You don't have to talk with me all the time, but I'd like to be updated on this when you have your hands free.
Sure, I'll try my best to keep in touch with you throughout today and tomorrow. And if I haven't been able to get back to you for some time, you can go ahead and call or text me to get my attention. That would really help, actually.
All right, sounds good.
I really am sorry about this.
Embarrassed by something like that? So these things about my family being lowlifes and uneducated was specifically pointed at my mom and dad?
So that's what you're wanting to know about right now? Well, considering you had to be raised by those two monkeys, it only makes sense that you're unable to pick up on things normal human beings can. Now you listen very carefully, all right? In my family, every single one of us went to and graduated from a university. And if you'd like to know, they weren't just any universities, but only the best Ivy League schools in the U.S.
I don't really want to stomp on your parade there about people's educations, but I went and graduated from the same exact school as Roland.
And I'm sure you had to go there using federal grants and other things the government gives to the poor. You should have to go into debt in order to get an education.
I never received any grants or scholarships, and both my parents had to pay for me to go.
Stop lying to me. There's no way a couple of high school dropouts have that kind of money.
Sure, you're right that the both of my parents are different from most families and did not graduate from a university or anything. And considering that this world loves people that spend money to go to school over those that get an education outside of the normal system, they had to work really hard. But by the time I started to understand the real world, I wouldn't say that either of my parents were poor. Quite the opposite, actually.
I don't think a girl raised in a family of lowlifes has any idea what a proper family with money looks and feels like.
I really don't think there's much of a difference there, depending on the family one grew up in.
Anyhow, I will not allow for any of your foul, low-life blood to enter my elite family made up of only the most intelligent university graduates. We have no need for that disgusting blood in this family, so your marriage is off. I will not allow...
But the one that chose to make sure that you weren't going to be a part of this wedding was Roland himself. Both your wife and your younger son also agreed to this and have been telling everyone the reason you're not here is due to you being very sick.
Excuse me? I was led to believe that everyone was still home and didn't go due to the TV being left on in the living room.
From what I hear, besides when you go to the bathroom, you are locking yourself in your home study and not coming out, right?
Are you really telling me that everyone went along with the wedding and not having me there that easily?
To be honest, a lot of thought went into this, but from the very beginning, the both of my parents have been very fond of Roland. And when it came to you having a lot against them due to their education, they made sure to treat that as a completely different problem, allowing the two of us to still get married to one another.
So you're telling me that two uneducated chimps' thoughts carry more weight around everyone than an elite university graduate like myself?
You're still going on about that?
I sure am. In order to make this clear to you once again, in this world, those that have dropped out of high school and never made anything of themselves are nothing compared to an elite degree-holding man like myself.
So, even after all that's been done and said to you, you're not only going to still think like that, but still venture to say that the both of my parents are less than human?
There's nothing wrong with that, as I'm correct here.
Then there's no other option here. My mom and dad are ending that contract.
What? Contract? Ending it? What are you talking about? I don't remember there ever being any contract signed with a couple of lowlifes like yourselves.
To openly make horrible remarks about them. And that's what you were told by your boss today, right?
Please, Kate, can you please go and talk with your parents and explain to them that this was all a huge mistake on my part and will never happen again?
I'm really sorry, Davis, but even though I work within their company, I am nothing more than a simple office worker there. Naturally, that means I have no right at all to be telling them what to do with you, especially when you were personally making rude remarks about them.
You're the daughter of the CEO, though!
And if I abuse that position of mine, I will be fired.
Well, do something about that then. Had I freaking known your parents were very important business partners, then I wouldn't have said those things about them and would have been all for your marriage to Roland.
Well, that's not the topic of discussion right now, is it?
What?
No matter who the people you knew about were, the way you acted out and spoke about them was not okay for someone your age. The reason that this contract is being canceled now isn't just because of the way you acted towards the wedding yesterday.
What?
Some people have said that you're causing a lot of trouble for coworkers at your job that didn't end up going to college or anything like that, and joined the workforce right after high school. Are you sure your ways of judging and belittling people at such an egregious rate don't have something to do with you now?
Then what the hell am I supposed to do here? There's no changing the fact that I graduated from a university, and those employees are high school graduates, and your parents are middle school graduates. Those are all facts. What the hell am I supposed to do about all of that?
Who had always prided himself on appearances, looked utterly stunned, as if he'd been hit by a bombshell. He didn't know what to say, and I couldn't help but notice how much that one comment affected him. This revelation might seem insignificant to an outsider, but for Davis, it cut deep. He had always acted with a certain arrogance, believing that his wife, his career, and his life were all perfect and prestigious. To find out that the woman he had been married to for years was not the educated upper-class partner he had assumed her to be must have been a huge blow to his ego. It was as though the foundation upon which he had built his sense of superiority was crumbling before his eyes. Not long after this, Davis chose to resign from his position at the company. Officially, it was a voluntary resignation, but everyone knew the truth. He was forced out. Whether it was due to shame, stress, or simply an inability to deal with the drastic changes in his life, Davis couldn't handle it anymore. He walked away from the career he had worked so hard to build, a career that had once defined his identity. However, walking away wasn't the end of his troubles. Davis was already in his late 50s, and finding a new job at his age, especially after the scandal that surrounded his name, proved to be impossible. He had burned too many bridges over the years, alienating colleagues and subordinates with his overbearing attitude. He had always believed himself to be untouchable, the kind of person who could say and do anything without facing consequences. But now, as he searched for employment, it became painfully clear that no one was willing to help him. From what I've heard, Davis is now living a life far removed from the one he once knew. Gone are the days of high-powered meetings, expensive suits, and the respect he commanded in the corporate world. Instead, he scrapes by doing day labor, picking up whatever odd jobs he can find just to put food on the table. The fall from grace has been steep, and the man who once lived in luxury is now struggling to survive. It's hard not to feel a mix of emotions when I think about Davis. On one hand, his downfall feels like the inevitable consequence of years of poor decisions, both in his professional and personal life. He treated people around him with disdain, always assuming he was better than everyone else. Whether it was his colleagues, subordinates, or even his family, Davis had a way of belittling those who didn't live up to his impossible standards. In the end, that arrogance isolated him, and now, when he needs the help the most, there's no one willing to offer him a hand. He was a man who built his career from the ground up, and in many ways, he deserved the success he achieved. But somewhere along the way, he lost sight of what truly mattered, and that's when everything started to unravel. As for his personal life, the divorce from my mother-in-law was the final nail in the coffin. Their relationship had been strained for years, but Davis had always assumed that his wife would stay by his side no matter what. In his mind, she was a part of the image he wanted to present to the world, an educated, cultured woman who matched his idea of success. But when she revealed that she wasn't the person he thought she was, it was a wake-up call. Suddenly, Davis realized that everything he had built was based on false assumptions. In the end, Davis's life is the cautionary tale of what happens when pride, arrogance, and poor judgment go unchecked. He had everything: career, family, status, but he took it all for granted. Now he spends his days doing menial labor, barely scraping by, while the world moves on without him. It's a lonely, impoverished existence, and it's hard not to imagine the regret he must feel as he looks back on the choices he's made. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Dad, can you start coming home right now?
Oh, Mary?
But you're on a business trip right now, aren't you? There's no way you can come all the way home now.
I'm sorry for taking so long to get back to you. If you have a lot to talk about, you can go ahead and start telling me it all now, since I'm about to get on the train anyway. By the way, what happened to you being at school? You shouldn't have the day off or anything like that today, right?
I have a fever and decided to come home early.
Wait, did you catch a cold or something?
Probably, yeah.
I see. You go get into bed then and warm yourself up and take some water into your room with you so you stay hydrated. There should be some medication in the pantry you can take if you start to feel even worse and cough more, all right?
But, Dad, I can't get into the house right now.
Huh? Did you forget to take the house key with you to school today?
I guess so. I went and changed my bag yesterday to a brand new one, and when I was moving all of my things over into it, I must have forgotten the house key.
Wait, but Mom should still be there at the house today, right? She told me she didn't have any plans to leave the house for today.
I heard that from her as well, but it doesn't look like she's home right now. I rang the doorbell over and over again, but she never came, as well as banged on the door some. And the man next door just came out and told me that about an hour ago, Mom left the house and hadn't come back yet.
What is she doing right now? And right now you have a fever, right? Do you think you can make it over to Grandpa's house just down the road? I heard that Grandma took the day off her part-time job as well, so she'll be home to take the second Monday that month. I'm going to be out of town for about 3 to 4 days, or maybe even a week if I have to.
Wait, you have to be gone for up to a week?
What, is there something wrong with that?
Well, actually, during that time next month, I'm probably going to be going on a small trip out of town.
Well, that's pretty rare of you.
Well, look, a couple of months ago, I had that high school reunion, right? Back then, I ran into some old friends of mine again, and we've been talking a lot more ever since. And, we started to talk a lot about the field trips we'd go on and stuff like that in high school. And as we talked and talked and talked, we came up with a plan for a trip that all of us want to take together.
I see. So this all started because of that reunion?
If I really can, I'd love to be able to go on this trip, so I was wondering if it would be all right to leave Mary over at your parents' place for them to watch over her. I know that she's a high schooler now, but she can't be left home all alone for 10 days without me around, right?
That's a good point.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Here. Maybe it's my key that's broken, but I really don't think that it is. Do you have any idea what's up with the lock on the front door?
Welcome home, Marge.
By the way, are you even home right now?
I'm home.
Then could you please hurry up and come open the front door to let me inside?
I don't think it's gonna help if I came and opened the door to the house.
What do you mean it wouldn't help?
Because the house that you're at is my previous house, right?
What? What do you mean by it being your previous house?
I moved.
Huh?
Sorry for doing this while you were out having that affair with another man, but Mary and I have moved out of there and are settled in here, so there's no reason for you to come back to us anymore.
What? Hold on a second. What was that about me having an affair? What are you going on about right now?
Are you gonna try playing dumb with me now or something?
Are you seriously saying that I've been having an affair with another man?
Well, that's what I just said, wasn't it?
Oh, stop talking a ton of nonsense about me, please. I told you already that this trip was me and my old friends getting together to go enjoy ourselves. We literally talked about this already, right?
Really? So you like to go with your friends to hotels like that one?
What?
If that's the kind of place you're taking your friends to, and those are the kinds of things you do with them there, then I do not want to meet any one of them. And to think that the man is married himself.
Huh?
And to make things even more tough, he's the father of one of Mary's classmates. What I'm hearing so far is that you and him talk to one another a lot due to the fact that you both have kids in the same class, and that ended up with you in bed together for 10 days. I'm really trying to figure out how that could have happened so quickly, because if there's no good reason for it, that's all too strange. Honestly, you guys' reasoning might be something I can't comprehend.
How much do you know about this?
I know the things that are most important to me, so a lot of it.
What?
The reason I began to have doubts about you in the first place started the last time I had to leave town for work. I never ended up saying anything to you about this, but Mary ended up having a fever at school and took the rest of the day off to be at home. But when she made it home to a house where you should have been, she said you weren't there when she called me. After hearing from her that you were nowhere to be found, I ended up texting you asking where you were at. Do you remember that? You told me that you were at home, the same home that Mary said you specifically weren't at.
That's what that was all about? Now that I think about it, there was a time when she came down with something. But she told me that she had stayed at school the whole day and never took time off to come home.
That was because she didn't want you figuring out that we were onto you at the time. I guess she wanted to keep everything we thought about you a secret, though, because I never actually told her not to say anything to you. On that day, you were out with that other man, right? What the hell do you think you're doing at the age of 45 when you have a kid in high school?
Well, you said that you both moved out of this house, right? Tell me where your new address is.
Why should I do that?
Why should you?
Why do you think I would keep us moving to a new house quiet from you?
But...
Mary really hates your guts now, Marge.
What?
On that day, on a rare day where she was so sick and needed to leave school to go home and rest, she came home to nobody being inside and having no way to let herself in. I'm sure she felt helpless as hell then. And after that, thinking when she'd talk with me I'd give her a reason for why you weren't home, we both had to learn that you've been having an affair. And that day you were out with another man who wasn't her dad. I think to a high school girl like Mary, learning something like that about her own mom is one of the most, if not the most, shocking things ever. So it makes sense why she hates you so much now.
But, I think that at least meeting once to talk all of this over.
That's not enough to get me to tell you my new address where we're living. Also, I have one other thing to tell you that's pretty important. Mary's changing schools.
She's changing schools? She's going to have to leave her current high school and go somewhere else?
That's what she wanted. How could she go to a school every day with a classmate whose dad has been going out with her mom behind her dad's back? It's too much for her to handle now, and with her having to apply for college in a couple years, she can't waste her time worrying about you anymore. So after thinking things through for a little bit, she decided to change schools. I wanted to do anything for her, and that's why I made sure to get us a house closer to where her new school will be.
No way!
I'm also transferring jobs.
Huh?
I had plans for something like this before, all right? I wanted to talk with you about it, but then I learned you were most likely having an affair and decided to keep all of this to myself. Then, soon after that, I learned that you were indeed going out with another man behind my back. I thought about how having to continue living in a house like that would ruin my daughter's and my own mental health, and chose to sell it.
What the hell? Where the hell am I supposed to go then?
How about you go back to your parents' house?
What?
I already made sure to send all of your things there. Also, the lawyer will be paying your parents' house a visit soon, so...
A lawyer?
There are a lot of things we have to decide on in the divorce, so I decided it would be best to have a lawyer involved in all of this. And, of course, your secret man is going to be involved in all of this as well.
Why do you keep carrying on with this conversation if you do something like that to me?
There's no reason to be worried about what everyone else is going to think about you now. Both your parents and that man's wife are well aware of what you've both been up to.
No way!
I'm just going to let you know right now, you don't have any allies in this.
No, doing all of that without me.
My parents had moved with me when I relocated, but it seems she had forgotten. In her panic, she caused quite a scene at the house. Afterward, she was severely scolded by her parents. Given that alimony and child support were part of the divorce settlement, her parents arranged for her to be transferred to a distant workplace. There, she's under strict supervision and seems to have finally come to terms with the situation. Now, from what I hear, she spends her days quietly working, going through her routines in silence. Thinking back on the sequence of events, it's almost surreal how quickly things escalated and then shifted again. My ex-wife had been so certain that her future lay with the man she had chosen over me, yet fate had other plans for her. I can't help but feel a sense of poetic justice in how things unfolded. The fact that her affair partner decided to return to his wife, abandoning her plans for remarriage, must have been a crushing blow to her. In that moment, she probably realized the gravity of her choices and the consequences of her actions. When she turned to me seeking reconciliation, I was already past the point of no return. The betrayal and hurt she had caused couldn't simply be undone with a request for forgiveness. I had spent countless sleepless nights agonizing over the situation, but by the time she asked to come back, I had made peace with the idea of moving on. Refusing her was my way of reclaiming my dignity and asserting that I deserved better than being her second choice. Her visit to my parents' old house still makes me laugh when I think about it. The fact that she went there expecting to find them, only to discover that a completely different family was living there, must have been quite a shock. I had clearly told her we had moved, but it's clear she wasn't paying attention, or maybe she was too caught up in her own world to remember. Either way, the scene she caused when she realized her mistake was both embarrassing and unnecessary. Her parents, who had always been somewhat strict, understandably didn't take kindly to her behavior. From what I gather, they were deeply disappointed in her choices. With the divorce settled, they arranged for her to be sent to a workplace far away where she could no longer easily meddle in my life or cause more disruptions. The fact that she's now under close watch means she's finally had to confront the reality of her situation. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also,
chance, do you know who the CEO of Viral Trading's parent company is? What kind of question is that? Whatever. Who cares who the CEO is? Does it make a difference to me getting my big fat paycheck at the end of the month? Nah, if it doesn't matter, I'll just find out after I start working there. Right, I guess you will. I start next month. Okay, well, good luck, I guess. Hey, Jack. What the hell are you doing at Viral Trading, nerd boy? I just saw you walking down the corridor with my manager. Is he showing you around for your new temp job or something? Yeah, that must be it. Some of the boys were talking about a new temp starting soon. Is that you? I bet I know what this is. You got all jealous when you heard I got a spot at Viral Trading. So you figured you'd try your luck, didn't you? I bet you couldn't bear to see the fact of me zooming ahead of you on the path to success and wanted to steal some of my glory. Am I right? Well, in that case, but I very kindly take it upon myself to train you up. It looks like your desk is going to be next to mine, so this is perfect, actually. That's not all. I hear the CEO of our parent company is coming in for an inspection today. Who knows? He might be so blown away by my immense work capacity, incredible good looks, wit, charisma, charm, and humility that he gives me a full-time contract at the parent company. How about that? All right, enough chit-chat, nerd boy. Get your ass over here right now. It's time for your training. Oh yeah, and from now on, you will always greet me by lowering your head and saying the following. Sir Biff, your excellence, please do me the kindness of gracing me, the big pea-brain moron, with your infinite wisdom. Hey, Jack, what the heck do you think you're playing at? You've been slacking off for a whole hour now. That's not all. I can see you're not reading my messages. There's no tick on them, nerd boy. You've got some nerve to ignore your direct supervisor like this. After I kindly offer to train you up, no less. If you carry on with this insolent attitude of yours, I'll have no choice but to hunt you down and show you what happens to any pitiful fool who dares to defy me. That noise you made was awesome. I can still hear it in my head. I stealthily crept up from behind as you idly chatted in the hallway like the useless slacker that you are, and slapped your butt cheek with a ruler as hard as I could. Yeah, that worked so well, I think I might have to use it again. As your official supervisor, this is just what I needed to keep your ass in line. Which means, Jackie boy. It's time to drop your cocky attitude, you filthy, disgusting temp worker. If you don't hurry up and get to your desk, I'll come and slap that ass of yours again, you disobedient little peon. Want to get spanked with a ruler again? Or is the butt going too easy on you? I know. How about I hit you over the head with it instead? Or should I go for the back? Crack! I bet I could get a nice shot on your back. The sound would be like music to my ears. Whoop. Biff, you've only been at this company for a month, right? So what? I'm still a million times more important than filthy temp scum like you. It's time you learned your place, worm boy. Good grief. You should at least know the name and face of the CEO of your parent company. Huh? Jack. What the heck is going on here? Hello, Biff. Why would a temp worker be the CEO? Not just that, but the CEO of our parent company. Yep, that's right. I'm the CEO of Viral Holdings, parent company of Viral Trading. How could a pathetic temp worker like you ever become the CEO of anything? You have no professional achievements to speak of and no one respects you. You seem to be making lots of assumptions and misunderstandings here, Biff. But like I tried to tell you before, there was a reason I went into temp work instead of finding a proper full-time job at a company like the rest of you guys back when we graduated college. A reason? But he didn't want me to go into a green, so he told me to get a year or two's worth of temp agency experience so I'd know what the professional world was like before I took on the title of CEO. I did as I was told and spent 2 years working as a temp at various companies. After that, I started working at my dad's company and learned a bunch of stuff from the other employees. I finally got appointed as CEO a year ago. What? You didn't tell me anything about this back in college. Why would I tell you in the first place? Besides, I already learned the hard way that you should never tell people more than they need to know about this kind of thing, because it only ends up coming back to bite you in the ass. I figured I was better off keeping it quiet. Anyway, it's the kind of thing you go around telling people about, is it? What the hell? But if you had told me you were CEO, I never would have done it. My left butt cheek is all red and swollen because of your little stunt with a ruler. Whether I was a CEO or a temp employee is irrelevant. You do not go around slapping people's butt cheeks with rulers. That's unforgivable behavior in any workplace. Surely even you understand that. Not only that, but who do you think you are, taking it upon yourself to be my supervisor and task yourself with the role of disciplining me? You can't seriously think the company would entrust such an important role to the newbie on his trial period who's barely been at the company a month? Who exactly do you think you are? Well, it's common knowledge that temp workers are pretty much like subordinates to workers with proper contracts. That's why I took the initiative with training you up. I'm pretty sure there's nothing like that written in the company rules. Besides, you do know there are some very talented temp workers who make more than regular employees. What? Wow, you didn't know that either. No, Anyway, you'll find out how we'll be dealing with you when your manager contacts you over the coming days. So for now, you're to do as you were told at the office and take a long, hard think about your behavior at home. Hey, Jack! Jack! Why the hell am I getting fired? This constitutes an unfair dismissal. What do you want me to do about it? You're the CEO of our parent company. Surely there's something you could do to help your friend out of this mess? I heard you got into viral trading through personal connections, isn't that right? Huh? So the head of the HR department at Viral Holdings is your cousin, huh? I guess that explains why you thought you could get away with being so arrogant and domineering towards me and the other employees. What's wrong with using available manpower? You guys needed a number cruncher and I needed a job. There's nothing necessarily wrong with getting hired through personal connections, but only if it means bringing quality personnel into the company. In that case, I'm all in favor of it. Then why question it? That said, this might sound strange coming from the man himself, but you've been at the company a whole month and you still don't know the name or face of the CEO of your parent company. Due to your fatal lack of knowledge, when you saw me doing an inspection tour of the building, you assumed I was a new temp being trained up based on absolutely no evidence whatsoever. Then you came up from behind and slapped me with a ruler. And that's not all. I received a report from Sarah from admin that you hang around her department for hours at a time, making inappropriate sexual remarks and inviting her out on dates. Hey, my love life is my own private business, so stay out of it. Sarah is engaged. But you knew that, didn't you? You kept harassing her even though she refused you firmly time and time again and made it very clear she was in a relationship. You pestered her relentlessly, trying to use the fact you were the cousin of Viral Holdings' HR manager as a way to impress her by trying to seem like some kind of hotshot. What's wrong with using the cards in my deck? Would you get mad at a poker player for using his ace? The fact that you think having relatives at a company gives you license to act like a selfish, creepy weirdo is messed up to begin with. To frame this more in line with your own way of thinking, you're the worst card in our deck and we have zero use for you. But why? You want to know who Sarah's husband is? It's me. What? What? Are you serious? The reason I went to Viral Trading HQ for an inspection in the first place was because Sarah told me she was being sexually harassed by some weird new guy. When I asked her more about it, it became pretty clear to me the individual in question was you. It was clear to me at this point allowing HR to hire through personal connections had turned out to be an absolute disaster. Being a jerk to me over messages is one thing, but I had to draw the line at sexually harassing my employees, which is why I arranged to come and check on you under the pretext of a facilities inspection and made my way down to company HQ in person. What? And when I did, not only did you not realize I was the CEO of the parent company, but you mistook me for a temp and somehow felt that gave you full license to come over and physically assault me from behind with a long, hard object. What? What kind of CEO are you? Who pulls crap like this? You can't do surprise inspections on your employees. That's not fair. What a dick move. The only reason it was a surprise to you is because you still didn't have a clue who the CEO of the parent company was after a whole month. Whose fault do you think that is? Maybe if you had spent more of your time focusing on your work and familiarizing yourself with the company than sexually harassing my employees, you wouldn't be in this mess. Oh my God. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. The reason you're getting fired is because your problematic behavior became too serious to ignore. God. Oh, and you should know I'm considering filing for compensation from you for the assault in the hallway. Compensation? Or to be more precise, settlement money that includes compensation. I already filed the police report. Police report? What the? If you want me to drop the charges, then I suggest you pay me enough money that I'd be willing to settle this out of court. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. What even is this? This is the result of your actions, Biff. Is that so hard to understand? You'll be receiving a call from my lawyer over the coming days. It would be in your best interest to have a good think about what you've done and cultivate some self-awareness as to what a grade A moron you've been before that happens. Are you serious? This cannot be happening. After the events of today's story, I found out another interesting little fact. Apparently, Biff had recently been fired from another company before joining us. As a result, he found it difficult to find anywhere else willing to hire him, which is why he ended up getting into viral trading through personal connections. However, he seems to have made a fatal error in his understanding of what entering a company on personal connections means, because it certainly doesn't give you license to treat others like crap. Actions have consequences, and naturally, Biff's behavior led to him being fired once more. It came to my attention later on that Biff's department manager had been aware of his problematic behavior, but kept quiet about it. Naturally, that was unacceptable, so some harsh words were spoken and the necessary action taken. As for the compensation, my lawyer got in touch with Biff as promised, and realized he had no choice but to pay up or face legal action and jail time. I got every cent of what I asked for in a lump sum. Apparently his mom and dad were kind enough to help him come up with the money. But that certainly didn't mean he was off the hook. I heard his dad called in a favor with an old drinking buddy to get him a job at a fish factory, where he was forced to work grueling 12-hour shifts and kept in line by a manager nicknamed the slave driver in order to come up with the money to pay them back. Not only that, but he was forced to live in a broom cupboard at the factory until his parents had been repaid every last cent they lent their wayward son. I'm not sure why he chose me of all people, but I got a random SOS message from him one day. Naturally, I blocked him as soon as I realized who it was and carried on about my day.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Are you serious? You actually work for my dad's company? What are the odds? I haven't seen you since you graduated high school a couple of years ahead of me, right? This is so funny. I mean, of all people, it's the famous stinky Chloe. Are you still living with your mom in that old shack with nothing to eat? How the hell did you get a job here in the first place? Hi, Kristen. Long time no speak. What a coincidence that we cross paths again. I just found out recently that you're the daughter of Director Morgan, too. Such a small world, isn't it? Yeah, really? I heard rumors that you had to beg your father to work here because you kept getting fired for causing lots of trouble. So you were having difficulty finding a job, right? Well, listen to you. I guess you've learned to talk back a bit. But yeah, I won't deny it. I'm not ashamed. And for the record, none of it was my fault. Everyone I worked for was a moron. They didn't know how to use my skills and talents. So I did what I had to do to keep my reputation, which was find myself a better spot here, and it worked. Anyway, you should keep in mind that my position in this company is much senior than yours. You do as I say. Do you understand? Senior? Are you sure about what you just said? Of course I am. Just because we go back since high school doesn't mean you get to slack off around me. I'm going to treat you just the same as other workers in this office. Kristen, you literally joined the company today. You are a new face in this office, and just because you're the director's daughter, it does not put you in a better position. And just to be clear, you have zero authority. That is something you earn as you become a team member in this company. Please keep that in mind. Excuse me? Who the hell do you think you are? I mean, look at yourself. An old woman in a stained jumpsuit getting dirt up every day for what, like 10 years? How sad that you try to fulfill yourself by working in a big company, but you will never be better than me. You are going to stay exactly where you are no matter how long you work here. I'm sorry, are you calling me an old woman? I'm only 2 years older than you. Ew, that is so old. Whatever, but what is this about me being a part-timer? I think you're misunderstanding, Kristen. Still trying to act big? Stop pretending to be someone you're not, Chloe. You're making yourself look even more miserable. A part-timer will never be an official member of this company. You are no one. I beg your pardon? Kristen, you seriously don't know anything about my role, do you? You should have done a bit more research before you joined today. You're embarrassing yourself. A role? You mean the same role you've been keeping since high school as a part-timer at the factory? Oh, how pathetic, Chloe, really. I can't believe you stayed for over a decade doing the same thing. I mean, it's hilarious, too. I am laughing so hard right now, I can barely breathe. And you even think that you get to be bossy for working in a factory for 10 years? How sad. Interesting. I guess you stopped thinking for yourself when you were in high school. How unfortunate for you. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I'll let you do your own homework to find out what my role is here. I bet you'll understand exactly what I mean very soon. What the hell? If you have something to tell me, then just say it. You see, once you join the professional world, no one hands answers for free. Do your part and get some research done. You're a grown adult now. Think of it as a part of your training. Training? That's not necessary for me. Clearly you are the one who doesn't understand anything. Why would I have to go through any of that? My father is the director here. I have an express ticket to the top. You are out of your mind, woman. Kristen, I heard that you skipped your training session and were smoking on the balcony this morning. Let me be clear that if you skip training without notice or legitimate reasons, it will have a severe impact on your quarterly assessment. Also, smoking is only allowed outside of the building doors by law. There will be penalties for breaking it. Are you actually telling me what to do? Yes, I am. And this is your first warning. You're lucky that I'm even giving you a chance. You will follow the company rules or you will be asked to leave. I beg your pardon. Have you forgotten who my father is? I will not tolerate you talking to me like that. The reason why I'm even messaging you is because the member in charge of the training contacted me. He said that you won't listen to anything anyone says. So as a final notice, I'm letting you know that this is your last chance to participate as a trainee if you would like to stay in this company. Chloe, seriously, I think you're the one who needs a lesson. You might be older than me, but that means absolutely nothing here. Don't you get that we're not in high school anymore? Just because you finished school earlier than me doesn't put you in the position to tell me what to do, especially when I have privileges to do whatever I please. Of course, I know that we're not in high school anymore. That is why I'm messaging you now. Jesus, all of you are so stupid. You think a little scolding from an older woman is going to make me take stupid training sessions? I am the director's daughter, for crying out loud. Why aren't any of you listening to me? I'm in a much higher position than all of you. Okay, I see that you still haven't found out what my role in this company is. You must really like being reminded of who you are, huh? A tired old part-timer is what you are. You're a pathetic, useless hag clinging onto a McJob because you can't find a decent job anywhere else. Even if that were true, can you say that you are any better? At least I've been working, unlike you. Isn't this your first full-time job because you couldn't find anyone to hire you? You've been doing nothing but play since you finished school, right? You've only had small part-time jobs, from all of which you were fired. No wonder you don't know how to act in an organization. And none of that matters now. I've been hired as a proper employee because I'm just that good. I have the potential, unlike you. So stop acting like you know everything. I appreciate your service, Miss Part-Timer, but it's time to listen to a real employee, capiche? No, but fine. If you'd like to go down that road, then so be it. If I recall correctly, your father is coming back from his business trip on Monday, I believe. So what? Are you going to try and talk to my father now? Yes, I guess I'll have to. If you're blind enough to believe that you are almighty thanks to your daddy, then come see me with him on Monday. We can try to sort things out together. What? Oh, I know. I should just tell him that you're trying to act so bossy and get you fired. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Too bad, Chloe. Your time's up after all these years of working here. This is actually a great opportunity to let everyone know that I can get anyone fired in a heartbeat if they don't listen to me. Why don't you go and start packing to leave? Daddy, when are you coming home? I need you to do a favor for me.
I'll be coming home on Monday, darling. What is it? Is everything all right?
There's this woman at work. She's just a part-timer, but she treats me like crap. She is so horrible to me.
What? Horrible? How so?
She does things on purpose just to annoy me. She is so mean and has absolutely no respect to newcomers. Like, she looks down on me.
Kristen, I just want to be clear. You're not causing any trouble at work, are you? Because God knows how many times I've had to help you get out of serious troubles, all of which you and your selfishness were the root cause.
Of course not. Come on, give me some credit here, Dad. I understand my position very well. Anyway, this super mean woman wants me to go and see her to sort things out.
Wow, she must have some serious problem with you.
She does, and I don't even know why. And she actually asked that you come along. I mean, how dare she asks you, of all people, right?
She wants to see me too?
I'm scared that she's going to say or do something super mean to me. Daddy, will you please come with me? You should check out with your own eyes how horrible she is and just fire her on the spot.
That is not possible. I don't have the kind of authority to let someone go on the spot.
You wouldn't let some nasty part-timer bully your daughter, though, would you? Please, Daddy, you have to help me.
Well, I will have to see what exactly is going on, but I guess this is a good opportunity to see how you're fitting into the company. Okay then, I'll tag along to see her with you, but I'm only going as an observer. I'm not going to intervene unless I find it necessary. And if what you were saying about her is true, perhaps I will seek the help of Human Resources or the CEO.
Yes, thank you, thank you! You will see that what I'm saying is true. Oh, I can't wait until she gets what she deserves.
Hey, I'm not making any promises. If I think this is something you should handle on your own, then I'm not taking any actions.
I'm telling you, Daddy, you will. She is so horrible.
Which department does she work for, by the way?
She's in the factory. She works with the machines on the manufacturing line or something.
The machines in the factory? Wait a second, are you sure she's a part-timer? Only management-level employees who've had extensive training are allowed to touch the machines in the factory.
I don't know, maybe she's doing something she's not supposed to do. I can easily imagine her cheating. Yeah, that must be it. The only reason why she's been able to keep her job for decades. Anyway, Dad, you'll see what I mean on Monday. I'll stop by your office and we can go to her together. Talk to you later. Hey, listen up, woman. I told my father about you. Okay, and? Let's see if you can keep that attitude of yours on Monday. I am so going to finish your time here at this company. You will be seeing my father just as you wished. And he is so going to fire you after he sees how rude you are to me. It's over. Oh, and I just can't wait to tell you to get out. Very interesting, Kristen. It's so funny that you think I'm going to oblige to that. You won't have any other choice but to, you loser. You are so dumb. You still don't understand the position you're in. Let me tell you though, you are done. You will never get anywhere in life. How so? I mean, you are 30 for crying out loud. You're so old, and yet you can't even keep a part-time job. How the hell do you think that's going to look on your resume? No one's going to want you. You won't be able to find a decent job. You'll be the biggest loser ever. Oh, this is going to be so funny. I should get everything recorded so I can show everyone from high school.
Hey, Kristen, I just arrived at the office from the airport. Where do you need me?
Daddy, welcome back. I've been dying to hear from you. Is your meeting with the woman you're talking about still happening? Yes, of course. Can you meet me by the entrance of Factory A? I'll head down now.
Okay, but give me a few minutes. I want to let the CEO know I'm back. Well, I guess it can wait. She seems out of her office now anyway. All right, I'll meet you in a few minutes.
I can't believe my dad was on his knees. I've never seen him like that, ever. Your poor father was petrified when he realized you were talking about me this whole time. I've never seen someone beg for forgiveness like that either. I feel bad he had to go through that, especially after working so hard to get you a spot in the company. It wasn't my intention to make him apologize for you. I am still in disbelief. What the hell happened? What did you do to become the CEO of the company? You were just a part-timer. It doesn't make any sense. You really didn't do any research before coming to work, did you? I mean, a student would know that they need to get as much information as possible before starting a new job. It's really sad that you had no interest of finding out anything about work. If you had, you would have found out who I was in a few minutes. But how, though? How the hell did you become the CEO? It's only been 10 years or so since you started working at the company. The previous CEO, meaning the owner of the company, is my grandfather on my mother's side. Huh? To give you an overview, I had always been interested in my grandfather's work, so I went to college to learn in the same field. I wanted to get hands-on experience and get to know the people as soon as possible, so I started working as a part-timer at the factory while I was still in school. And after graduating, I became a proper employee. It wasn't always easy being a young leader, but I worked my ass off the past 10 years to get to where I am. And I'm proud to say it wasn't just my blood that got me here. I had the support and approval of my employees when I became CEO last year. This is something that you could have learned beforehand if you had done some research. Too bad you had to embarrass yourself in front of your father. Wait a minute, that still doesn't make sense. What doesn't? You were poor back then. You never had a father and you lived in an old shack with your mom. Everyone called you Smelly Chloe because you were always wearing the same clothes. You couldn't have been rich. It's true that my mom and I lived a pretty modest lifestyle, but no, we were never poor. You and your friends just made that up in your head. Have you ever visited my house? No. Did I actually smell bad? Also no. You just had a very rich imagination that you made yourself believe all that. No way. Well, if you are the CEO, then why do you still handle the machines in the factory? You should be in the office building, in your own room with leather couches and everything. What the hell are you doing in the factory wearing a jumpsuit? Oh, I see what you mean. Well, it's true that I work in the office a lot more than I used to, but there were some irregularities around the workplace that I had to pitch in. So I was doing what was required of me, that's all. What kind of a situation makes it necessary for the CEO to wear a jumpsuit and work the machines in a factory? That is nonsense. No, it's not. We work as a team. It simply happens that the employee who usually is in charge of the machines fell ill and was admitted to the hospital. Someone else, of course, pitched in to help at first, but the person who pitched in had been scheduled to fly to California to receive training for the new machines being installed next month. That's also super important, so I had to keep his schedule for the training, which meant that we were short of staff who can handle the machines, and there was no way we were going to stop production. So, having had a lot of experience with them, I just stepped in to help. Just like that? You are the CEO, but can change into a jumpsuit and get dirty? Why the hell not? I do not have any problem getting a little dirty, and the job is so fundamental to our business that it must be prioritized. My other work could be replaced, but not this one. That's why I had your father go on that business trip last week to attend the conference on my behalf. Oh. Well, yeah, I might have heard him mention that he was taking someone else's place. So, yeah, now you have the full story. Happy now? Anyway, if you don't have any other questions, I must go. After all, I'm a busy woman with a lot on my plate.
Chloe, forgive me for messaging you so late. Are you busy right now?
Good evening, Daniel.
No, nothing is all right. I'm so horrified about what my daughter has done. I'm so sorry. I've never been so embarrassed in my entire life.
It's all right, Daniel. She's a grown woman. I don't blame you for her actions. I'm sorry, too, that you had to go through that. I didn't mean to embarrass you in front of others. Please, forgive me.
Oh, God, no, please, you don't need to apologize for anything. As much as I appreciate what you just said, this is my fault. I should have raised her more strictly. She'll no longer bother you, though, I promise. I've already spoken to HR and asked that she be officially removed from the company. She does not belong in our company.
But I thought you wanted her to work so that she finally straightens herself up.
I did. I let my ex-wife spoil her so much that Kristen ended up being uncontrollably selfish. And of course it's my fault that I was so busy with my career that I never intervened in how she was raising Kristen. That's why I wanted to get it right this time, once and for all. But I've failed again. Me letting her in the company only gave her the wrong idea that she had some sort of power. In fact, it simply boosted her selfishness and made this situation worse. I'm so sorry that I didn't think better. You wouldn't have had to go through my daughter if I never took my eyes off of her in the first place.
I accept your apology, Daniel. Thank you. You don't need to beat yourself up so much for what happened. That said, I think it is true that she got the wrong idea. It's a bit difficult to understand how she thinks the way she does. In all honesty, she was kind of the same in high school, too.
I know, and I should have done something back then, too. Anyway, I don't want her causing any more trouble, not with you, or the company, or me. I'm going to admit her somewhere so she can be treated. She has some kind of personality disorder and it needs to be controlled. I'm hoping a real program would help her get better. I've already called several places that offer professional help.
Oh, that might not be a bad idea. Professional help would be the best for her in the end. Although, I bet she's not going to like it.
No, she's gonna hate me for putting her in program, but her feelings toward me won't matter. I need to do this for her, or else she's going to end up in bigger trouble someday.
I agree. Well, I really hope she'll overcome her troubles soon.
Thank you for your kind words, Chloe.
Chloe, you have to help me. My dad is getting me locked up in some madhouse or something. Please tell him to stop. Let me apologize to you formally. I will do whatever you want me to do. I admit that you are the greatest CEO and everything. Hey, I'll even take that training you wanted me to. Please, Chloe, help. Don't fire me. I don't want to get locked up with a bunch of psychos. Not that I was ever going to help her, but I only saw the missed calls and messages when I finished work, after she was taken away. It looks like her father hired a security company to escort her to the institution that she'll be staying at until she finished the proper treatment. When she was being taken from her home, she begged and cried, but her father never listened to a word she said. And before she knew it, she had arrived at the institution that ran a program aimed for people who were harmful to others. Unfortunately for her, it was far from one of those luxury facilities. In the program, which she's still in, she has to earn points to do what she wants. For example, clean the toilet to get her smartphone back. For a completely spoiled, selfish person like Kristen, it must be the worst nightmare. I can only imagine it would be a long road for her, but I hope she can one day truly understand, for her father's sake, what it means to be selfless and kind.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.